Hi, this is Henry Hollander from der Nister here in downtown Los Angeles. Our cultural programming, which we had in the fall of last year, is coming back soon. We are making plans and we will reveal them slowly as we actually form them up and have commitments from various different speakers. We will be devoting our attention to certain specific subjects, Los Angeles, well, perhaps San Francisco Jewish history as well, but Los Angeles Jewish history, history of Jews in California, and history of Jews throughout the world in the various different communities. That's an area of particular interest to me. We will be discussing Jewish spirituality, Jewish philosophy, Jewish literature, Jewish film, and particularly Israeli film, and Jewish art. Now, when it comes to Jewish art, the question is, what actually is Jewish art? What qualifies art to be Jewish art? Does it depend on the content of the art? Does it depend on a technique or a philosophy? Does the artist have to actually identify as being Jewish? Are we going to get into the details of their personal biography to decide if they're Jewish enough to consider their art Jewish? Are we going to discuss artists as Jewish artists who perhaps would prefer not to be Jewish artists? What is it that is the edge, the limit of what our concerns are with Jewish art? Beyond that is the question of what actually is our purpose in using the term Jewish art and investigating it. One way that Jewish art is useful is that it illustrates Jewish history. An artist of any sort of relationship to Judaism, perhaps even an artist who's not Jewish, such as Rembrandt, who portrayed many Jews in his lifetime and is well remembered for that. Even they offer us something of an education through art into what the Jewish experience is. Another sort of important aspect of it is merely to publicize the activities of Jewish artists who are less well known. Frankly, there are artists of all different races, nationalities, and religions who could use an extra push, but we're der Nister, so Jewish artists are the ones that we should take responsibility. And beyond that, my primary concern is that art is beautiful and art reaches places in our experience which are not reached by other things. My experience several years ago of a wonderful exhibit of Louise Nevelson was physically transformative. When I came out of the exhibit, my eyesight, the way my eyes registered reality around me outside, was completely changed. It was a startling experience. Literally, I was startled and taken aback by what had happened to me in only perhaps an hour to 2 hours time. Art is truly powerful, and it's worth our time in discussing it. The things that we will get into, hopefully over time, are a fairly broad range of subjects within art. We'll talk about Jewish ritual art, Jewish folk art, specific Jewish fine artists who paint or sculpt or draw or take photographs or work in fabrics, or people who work in a variety of these different things. We'll see evidence of Jewish material culture and the design the design problems that are posed by specifically Jewish behaviors and actions, and we'll look at Jewish iconography and art and how that's dealt with. This within the types of programs, certainly we'll talk about specific artists, but we'll also talk about schools of artists and situations within the history of Jewish art. A few that come to mind in particular are the experiences of the Bezalel School in Mandate Palestine and Ottoman Palestine as well, and the various Jewish artists who gathered in Vitebsk in the early Soviet period, and the vast mass of artists from throughout Europe and even from the United States and Latin America who flooded into Montparnasse, into the Yiddish-speaking section of Montparnasse in the interwar period in Paris. So all of these things are things that we would like to discuss with you, and I won't promise that all of this will come to you quickly, but this is how much we want to talk about with you, and we will be happy to talk about it with you intermittently for a very long time. So thanks for giving me a shot, and we look forward to seeing you at Der Nister online, and hopefully eventually at Der Nister itself. Take care. Bye-bye.